Hey there, fellow fans of thrilling TV twists. Imagine the ultimate betrayal unfolding right before your eyes, where trust is shattered and alliances crumble in a game that's equal parts strategy and suspense. In this week's Celebrity Traitors Episode 7, the Faithful finally snapped out of their slump, banishing a key player and shaking up the dynamics for the final push. But here's where it gets controversial. Could one sneaky detail like a jacket really sway the votes? Stick around as we dive into all the juicy details, and let's uncover the layers of deceit that make this show unforgettable. And this is the part most people miss: the subtle shifts in power that might just decide who walks away with the charity pot. The big dog gets the boot. Even though they've been lagging behind in performance compared to other UK seasons of the show, Claudia Winkleman, the ever-charming host, celebrated their victory by exclaiming, "You got one." Jonathan Ross, who fancied himself the head of the turret trio, that's the three traitors hiding out in the castle turret, by the way, for beginners, think of them as the sneaky villains plotting in secret, was at last revealed and voted out of the game. Joe Marler clung to his big dog theory, a strategy where he believed the most dominant personalities were likely traitors, and kept Ross in his crosshairs, especially after Stephen Fry's exit. The Faithful, fed up with their solo hunts, teamed up for strength in numbers, realizing that banding together could make their votes more impactful. Even Celia Imrie, who had been charmed by Ross's charisma, as we saw in Episode 3's recap, came around, and Cat Burns voiced her growing doubts about her fellow conspirator because of a suspicious double bluff involving Ruth Codd's murder. For those new to the show, the Faithful are the honest players trying to sniff out the traitors, who secretly eliminate them through missions and votes. At the round table, the dramatic voting circle where accusations fly, Ross tried to deflect blame onto David Olusoga and Imrie, but it didn't stick. When Alan Carr joined the fray against him, Ross's fate was sealed with an impressive 6 votes out of 8. Was his signature green jacket subconsciously reminding everyone of the traitors' cloaks? It's a wild theory, but future schemers take note. Maybe swap that for something less incriminating. Still, Ross went out with flair, teasing his former allies by calling them fools and pretending to be faithful until the bitter end. He admitted he was like a cat with 9 lives, but they'd all been used up. After 5 straight round-table losses, the Faithful broke their curse. Can they ride this wave into the next 2 episodes? Checkmate for Lucy Beaumont. Picking up from the cliffhanger, we saw the resolution of the giant chessboard mission. With the losing team at risk of a face-to-face murder, the targets were Nick Mohammed, Kate Garraway, or Lucy Beaumont. As predicted in our Episode 6 recap, Beaumont was the unlucky one, partly because she'd started doubting Ross. Turning to face the traitors as they unveiled themselves, she shot back, "I hope you feel terrible about yourselves." Ross, ever the showman, retorted, "See ya, wouldn't want to be ya." Her death rocked the remaining Faithful at breakfast, especially since both Marler and Mohammed had suspected she might be a traitor. Her elimination cleared up some theories, but reinforced their focus on Ross. It's a reminder of how one wrong guess can upend the game, making strategy feel like a high-stakes puzzle. The uneasy truce between Carr and Cat. With the traitors now down to just 2, Alan Carr and Cat Burns, after Fry's departure, their alliance feels fragile. As Fry once described them as 2 big dogs and 1 small cat, the dynamic has shifted to a tense partnership where betrayal could erupt any moment. The spotlight is firmly on Alan, with Celia honing in on him and Joe pointing out his slip-up with an immunity shield, a protective advantage no real Faithful would forget. There are also whispers about Alan being involved in Paloma Faith's murder. On the other side, only Nick Mohammed regularly suspects the quieter cat. For beginners, immunity shields are game-saving tools earned in challenges, adding another layer of suspicion when forgotten. Their best shot at the upcoming round table might be to unite and redirect blame elsewhere. Olusoga faces ongoing scrutiny, while he accuses Mohammed of shady team rearrangements during the chessboard mission. Doubts linger about Garraway, and Carr has planted seeds of suspicion around Joe Marler. If they can eliminate one major threat and manipulate the vote against another, the pair could advance to the finale together. But with distrust brewing between them, that's a huge gamble. A nightmarish dinner party looms. The episode wrapped with Claudia announcing a celebratory dinner for the survivors, but naturally with a twist. During the meal, Carr and Cat must commit their next murder openly, toasting their victim with, "Parting is such sweet sorrow," a nod to Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, perfect for those who crammed it for GCSE English exams. Alan drew the short straw again for the deed. With Joe shielded and David, Kate, and Nick already under heat, Celia Imrie seems dangerously vulnerable. Could they really target her? It raises eyebrows about their tactics. Is going after the emerging detective a smart play, or a risky move that could backfire? Castle highlights. Top moment. Ross's outrageous exit line, claiming he'd been completely faithful to the traitors. The audience erupted, and even Joe Marler had to admit, the most ridiculous bow-out ever, with a hint of respect. Standout quote. It's a toss-up between Alan's mission mishap, saying, "My testicles. I feel like a winner and a eunuch," while adjusting his harness, and his gripe about always doing the dirty work for the traitors, joking they might as well have him dusting the turret. Leading Traitor, Cat Burns has navigated the chaos masterfully, betraying Ross calmly and gliding toward the semi-final. But can her luck hold? Star Faithful. Celia Imrie is stepping up her detective skills, but has that made her a prime target? It's a classic dilemma in these games. Do you hide your smarts or risk exposure? Claudia's style spotlight. Her olive pea coat stole the show during the mission, until her teal velvet tux at the round table stole the spotlight. Prize pot update. The team nailed the full £10,000 on the shaky rope bridge mission, boosting the total to £53,500 out of a possible £66,000 going to the winner's charity. Casualty count. With 1 murder and 1 banishment, we're down to 2 traitors against 5 faithful heading into the semi-final. Those odds are tighter than ever. Do you think the faithful can turn the tide? Coming up, the penultimate episode hits Thursday at 9 p.m., packed with dinner drama and a mission where a single error could lead to heads rolling. The faithful have their last round table chance to expose another traitor before the grand finale. Join me next time to dissect more castle conspiracies. What do you think? Was Ross's jacket really a subliminal clue, or is that just fan theory gone wild? And here's a controversial take. Maybe the Traitors' alliance is doomed because Carr and Cat styles clash too much, one flamboyant, the other stealthy. Do you agree they should target Celia, or is there a smarter play? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear if you're Team Faithful or rooting for the Traitors.